Your grandmother's rice water isn't just for her plants, it's about to become the reason your worm population triples without you buying a single bag of worms. Stick with me because trick number 3 is the one most people skip, and it's the exact one that turns dead, tired soil into something that looks like dark chocolate cake by the 4th week. If you've ever poured rice water down the drain thinking you were just cooking dinner, you've been throwing away free soil gold. And trick number 4? That one isn't even about rice water at all, and almost nobody talks about it. Hey there, welcome back to Evergreen Garden Tips, the place where we make gardening simple, affordable, and honestly a lot more fun than the big garden centers want you to believe it is. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. This channel is built for people who want a garden that actually works, without spending a fortune on fertilizers, soil boosters, or fancy products with names you can't pronounce. And if you're one of our regulars, welcome back, friend. You already know we don't do fluff here. We do results. Today we're talking about rice. Yes, the same bag sitting in your kitchen right now. By the end of this video, you'll know 4 ways to use rice to grow more worms, richer soil, and healthier plants, all backed by real science, not guesswork. Before we dive in, do me one small favor. Tap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a tip that saves you money and grows a better garden. It genuinely helps this channel keep making free content for gardeners just like you. Now, let's get into trick number 1. Trick 1, rice water, the forgotten gold. Let's start simple. Next time you rinse your rice before cooking, don't dump that cloudy water down the sink. That milky water is loaded with starch, and starch is basically candy for microorganisms living in your soil. When you pour it around your plants, you're feeding the tiny bacteria and fungi that break down organic matter and turn it into nutrients your plants can actually absorb. Here's the part most people don't know. Worms don't just eat dirt. They eat the bacteria and fungi living in the dirt. So when you feed the microbes with rice water, you're setting up a buffet that draws earthworms in from surrounding soil. More microbes means more worms, and more worms means more of nature's best fertilizer, worm castings, working into your garden for free. Simply collect your rice rinse water in a jar, let it sit for a day or 2 so it slightly ferments, then water your plants with it once a week. That fermentation step matters because it boosts the beneficial bacteria even further. Think of it as a smoothie for your soil. Trick 2, the buried rice ball method. This one sounds strange, but stay with me because it's one of the most satisfying tricks to watch work. Take a handful of leftover cooked rice, the kind that's gone a little hard sitting in your fridge, and bury it about 2 inches deep in a corner of your garden bed. Within a few days, you'll start noticing something. Worms are attracted to decomposing carbohydrates the same way we're attracted to the smell of fresh bread. As that rice breaks down, it creates a warm, moist pocket underground that worms absolutely love to gather around. Some gardeners use this exact method as a worm trap, checking the spot a week later to see just how many worms have shown up. The trick here isn't to bury a huge pile. A small handful every couple of weeks in different spots around your garden keeps worm activity spread out evenly instead of clustered in one place. This means your whole garden bed benefits, not just one lucky corner. Before we move to trick 3, I want to ask you something. Which of these 2 tricks are you trying first, the rice water or the buried rice ball? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one and I love seeing which tips our community actually puts into action. And if this video is teaching you something new, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells me exactly what kind of content you want more of, and it costs you nothing but 2 seconds. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time, because next week we're covering another kitchen scrap that most people throw away, and it's just as powerful as this one. Alright, let's get into trick number 3, because this is where things get really interesting. Trick 3, rice hull ash, the silent soil fixer. If you've ever burned rice hulls or have access to them from a local mill, this trick will change how you think about soil forever. Rice hull ash is rich in silica and potassium, 2 things that most beginner gardeners never think about but that plants desperately need for strong stems and disease resistance. Here's the science in plain words. Silica strengthens plant cell walls, almost like giving your plants a natural suit of armor against pests and fungal disease. Potassium helps regulate water movement inside the plant, which means better drought resistance and stronger root systems. When you sprinkle a thin layer of rice hull into your soil, you're not just feeding your plants, you're protecting them. And here's the twist most people miss. This ash also raises the soil's ability to hold onto nutrients, almost like giving your soil a bigger storage tank. That means the compost, worm castings, and fertilizer you're already using stick around longer instead of washing away with every rain. A little goes a long way here. A thin dusting across your garden bed once every few weeks is enough. Too much ash can raise your soil pH higher than most plants like, so light and consistent always beats heavy and occasional. Trick 4, the rice straw secret nobody talks about. This last one isn't about rice water or rice grains at all. It's about rice straw, the stalks left over after harvest. If you have access to rice straw, or even just dried straw from a local farm, this becomes one of the best mulches you can use, and almost nobody in beginner gardening circles talks about it. Rice straw breaks down slower than most mulches, which means it protects your soil moisture for longer stretches without you having to constantly reapply it. As it slowly decomposes, it releases silica and organic carbon back into the soil, feeding the same beneficial fungi that worms depend on for food. But here's the real secret. Layering rice straw over soil creates a cool, dark, moist environment right at the surface, which is exactly the kind of habitat earthworms migrate toward during hot months. Instead of burrowing deep to escape the heat, worms stay closer to the surface, which means more worm activity right where your plant roots are feeding. Lay a thin layer, about 2 inches, around the base of your plants, keeping it slightly away from direct stem contact to avoid rot. Within a few weeks you'll notice darker, looser soil underneath, a clear sign your worm population and microbial activity has picked up. So there you have it, for simple rice tricks backed by real soil science, all using things you likely already have in your kitchen or can find locally for next to nothing. Rice water feeds your microbes, buried rice balls attract worms directly, rice hull ash strengthens your plants and holds nutrients longer, and rice straw creates the perfect worm-friendly environment right at the surface. None of these require expensive products, and all of them work with nature instead of against it. That's the whole point of gardening on a budget, using what's already around you instead of what a store wants to sell you. If this video helped you see rice differently, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's video, where we're revealing another everyday kitchen item that could be quietly costing your garden nutrients. Drop a comment letting me know which trick surprised you the most, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening, friends!